supposed to dress, right? So you got, it says, women are supposed to wear what pertains to men. Men are not supposed to wear which pertains to a woman, right? So what would be an example of if I was to wear something that pertains to a woman? What would that look like today? Dress, what else? So like, it would be like a dress, bra, skirt, high heels, panties, things of that nature. Things are made for women, right? So let's read the top part here.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man.
So what would that be today? Right. And it is, and the reason being is because I want you to think about, we have to, how will we know that? We have to think about who was wearing what during the time that this was written. Right? Would you agree? To understand, okay, which one's which? Well, what were they wearing during this time? Well, let's read. Exodus, what is it, 27, 28? What I want. Let's see what the men were wearing during this time. 27, I think is, what is it, 28? 28, 40, 42. Read that.
Exodus chapter 28, verse 42. And thou shalt make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness, from the loins even unto the thighs. They shall reach, and they shall be upon Aaron and upon his sons, when they come into the tabernacle of the congregation, or when they come near unto the altar to minister in the holy place, that they bear not iniquity and die.
So, we're reading about an example of what? The Lord giving a commandment for Aaron and his sons, and amongst the men to what? They have to wear linen breeches. Now, I know our grandparents back in the day, they used to call what breeches? Pick up your pants, right? Now, example what we just read is an example of, he said from your, your thighs to your loins, something like that, that should reach. It'd be an example of like shorts. Like, what you wear, not shorts. But you'll read the example of who's wearing that during that time. It's the men. You'll always read about sisters wearing something modest, like modest apparel. But in America, what has America done to change that? They started now to make something called women's pants, or women's shorts, or women's, they make jeggings, stuff like that. Because during the early, like 1900s, I think in this country, there wasn't no such thing as women wearing pants. Just like there wasn't really no such thing as people being flamboyant in their sexuality like it is today. What we're seeing today is a degradation of this country as far as morals and standards. That's what we're seeing. And a lot of that goes directly against the commandments of the Bible. Right. Because in the Bible, the standard that our Father has for our dress code is for men, we wearing pants, or you'll see things, somebody got a garment, we'll have long garments, but there'll be pants under those garments. Our sisters will be wearing modest apparel, like dresses, skirts, things of that nature. If you want to wear like some leggings or something that goes under your dress, like in the case of it gets, cold or something like that to keep warm. But what our sisters are wearing today, that was never meant to be outer garments, outer apparel that they wear out and about, showing every curve. The Lord didn't want us doing that. Right, go back to Deuteronomy 22:5. Watch what he says, what it would be if you were to do that. Read it.
Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 5. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. For all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God.
He said all that do so would be what? Abomination. Right? That's something that's unclean or detestable. Like he hates that thing. Right? My question to you is, did when John the Revelator wrote Revelations, and he talking about the end times, would abominations be getting into that kingdom of heaven? Abominable things? No. So what should we, as we learning our culture again, what should we do as men and women? We should stop cross-dressing. Our brothers, all these rappers that's putting on, or actors, whatever industry they in that cause them to put on women's apparel, they need to stop. Whether it's for entertainment purposes or whatever the case may be, they need to stop. Take off the dresses or wear men's apparel. Our sisters that want to be on the more masculine side, that want to feel equal to the man, that want to show off their curves and not be modest, they got to stop. Why? Is it because we saying it? No, because God says it. And that's the standard he has for his daughters. We call him our Heavenly Father, right? A parent got standards for their kids. You got any children? No? Okay. when you have children, you're going to have standards for how you want them to represent you. Because ultimately, when they walk out the house, who they represent? When they get in trouble at school, who they calling? They ain't going to say, man, it's just a bad kid, man. I don't know what's going on. They're going to call and be like, what's going on at the house? What are you doing that caused this kid to be this way? So when we out and about and we committing murder, we dressing, we cross-dressing, we stealing, who we represent being God's people? Represent him. So of course he gonna see these things as what? As abomination, as evil.
Right.
And we gotta change it if we want to be back on his good side. Right? So sis, matter of fact, before I ask that, go to 1 Timothy 2 and 9, real quick. Just so you know, I didn't make it up when I said our sisters had to wear modest apparel. 1 Timothy 2 and 9. Read that right quick. Go ahead.
1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety.
Our sisters, they should wear modest apparel. Meaning, what does that mean, modest apparel? What was that? Yes. Meaning, what you wear shouldn't be drawing any type of extra attention to yourself. And a lot of cases today is drawing the unwanted attention, like sexual attention. It should be, like you said, covering. It shouldn't be alluring, like, dang, I can see everything, every shape, curve, this is the guy. You shouldn't want to dress like that. Because then what would make a difference between a sister dressed like that and a prostitute? There would be no difference. Nobody will be able to tell the difference. Dude try to pick a harlot up, and he turn around and talk to you, you get offended. It's like wearing harlot's attire. Like, how can I know? You know what I'm saying? Just like if I was to dress around and play cop, some emergency or crime happened, they come to me, and I'm like, you think I'm a police? Like, yeah, nigga, you got on a cop uniform. It's the same thing. So read it again.
1 Timothy 2, verse 9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety.
And on top of that, what's supposed to also be there is, it says with shamefacedness and sobriety, it's supposed to be where the mentality is at, or how they are mentally. Meaning, there should be a level of, what's the word I'm looking for? Humility, but also like, you don't want to be obtrusive in your talk or how you behave. Meaning, like, you ain't always trying to be jumping into somebody's conversation, or you want to jump in this situation. Like, you have a certain level of discretion about yourself. You know when to speak or not to speak, when is the opportunity to do this and when it's not the opportunity to do that. You have and the reason being is because you have some level of shame if you were to do otherwise. You'll be embarrassed to step out of your God-given role or what the Lord had for you to be. So our sisters are supposed to have these qualities about themselves, and it's lacking today. As it is. I'm being honest, it is lacking. So sis, I want to ask you, what should, going forward, like when you leave here, how should you dress? Modestly, right? What would be an example of some modest apparel? So you want to reflect on it? I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Dude, because I don't want you just to take our words. You can open up your own Bible, read it for yourself. But what I do want to say is, remember what the Lord said to the how to get into life is to keep the commandments. And we know it's just not 10. right? We know it's not limited to those 10. So what we read in Deuteronomy 22, that's a commandment. Just like, watch them again, Exodus 20 and 8. Because you say you feel more familiar with the 10, right? What is the fourth out of the 10? Okay. All right. Let's read it.
Exodus chapter 20, verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shall thou labor and do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work.
So it says, the fourth commandment is to remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. When would that be today? Saturday. So when do you, how do we do that? How do we keep it holy? I'll ask that first. Correct. Is there anything else? Okay. Let's figure out. Leviticus 23. Leviticus 23. Because it's not working. It's supposed to be a day of rest. Like when you read in Genesis, the Lord did all his creation in how many days? 6. He rested that 7 to be an example for us on how to keep the 7th day holy. Watch. What else is a way that we keep it holy? Read it.
Leviticus chapter 23, verse 3. 6 days shall thy work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings.
So he said today would be in holy convocation. When you look up the word convocation on your own time, it's going to mean an assembly or a gathering. Meaning, you're going to gather or assemble with like-minded people that's trying to keep the Sabbath day holy. So when do, you say you go to St. Mark Baptist Church? So when do you guys usually congregate? On Sundays. Have you ever questioned like where that come from? Like, I'll ask, do the congregants in St. Mark Baptist Church, do they keep the Sabbath day holy like today?
I would say in that version, yeah. So they congregate, worship. I don't know about any other birthday occurs after this, but I know this is
But the key word that I want you to pay attention to what you said is, you said in their way, right? Now, how are we all supposed to be worshiping? According to the Lord's way. Because I can have my way. I can say, well, the way I worship the Lord is, you know what I'm saying, I go to the club every Saturday night faithfully, and I'm gonna leave here with at least 5 numbers, and that's how I worship the Lord on Saturday. We can all come up with our own way, but we all have to worship the Lord how he told us how to worship, right?
Bring it up.
So that's why I asked you, do you think they keep the Sabbath day like how the Lord commanded them to keep? Meaning, you rest on Saturday, you congregate or you're assembling with people on that day, because it's supposed to be a holy convocation. What else? Watch this, Nehemiah. Watch what else you're not supposed to be doing on today. And all this is in accordance to how you keeping it holy. Holy just means like it's set apart. So the things you do Sunday through Friday, you're gonna treat Saturday different because it's a holy day. You know, it's just like how to be honest, in America we make Christmas equivalent with a holy day. Meaning we do something different on Christmas than we do every other day of the year. We give gifts, we set up trees, things of that nature, right? But God has his own standards on how he wants us to keep his days holy. Watch this.
Nehemiah chapter 10, verse 31.
Bring it up.
And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell,
Ware or victuals meaning merchandise or food. If they bring it into our land or to our city to sell to us on a Sabbath day, watch what our ancestors did on that day. Read.
that we would not buy of them on the Sabbath or on any holy day.
So on any of our holy days and on the Sabbath, we did not buy from these people. Why? Because of what we kept that day holy is we shut down all businesses. Because it is another form of work. When you buy from people, you selling from people, this is another form of work. Or you supporting somebody's business, which they shouldn't have going on the Sabbath. So we didn't buy, we didn't sell, we didn't work. We congregated with one another, right? So do you think the congregants that you congregate with currently, they do that for today? Right, so if they made the decision to not do that, what is that called? Like, anytime God gives a commandment and you decide, okay, I'm not going to do that, what is that called? It's a shorter word.
Unless you have sinned.
Correct. 1 John 3 and 4.
Bring it out. Bring it out.
And I'm building this on. Watch this. 1 John 3 and 4.
1 John chapter 3 verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin, transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
Because even though we use the term often a lot in the church, we really don't define what that word is. In the Bible, when you commit sin, that is the breaking or going against God's commandments. That's what it is in a nutshell. It's breaking the commandments. So the Lord said keep the Sabbath day holy, which is to congregate, to not to work, to not buy or sell, and you make the conscious decision when the Sabbath day come around, I'm going to do it anyway. It's called sin. Right? And what does Christ tell us the wages, or Paul tell us the wages of sin is? It's death. So, the people that you congregate with now, are they the way that they're living? And it could be in ignorance, or it could be consciously. Are they living in a manner that's going to give them that eternal life, or to death? Death. So, Ephesians 6 and 14. I think that's what I want.
Yeah.
Ephesians 6 and 14. So this is what I want. This is what I want you to do, sis. 6 and 4. Is that what I want? Nope, that ain't what I want. It's right here. 4 and 5 and 11. Yep. Read that.
Ephesians chapter 5 verse 11. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them.
So Paul told the church in Ephesians and Ephesus, and also leaving us an example today, to when it comes to, we can identify people that are working in the fruits of darkness. They have no works of repentance, or they live in a righteous life. We're not supposed to have fellowship with these people. Because why? Why would we? What's the purpose? He said if you want to be around them, rather reprove them, meaning correct them, trying to show them the light, the right path. Why would he hold this? Stay right here. I mean, hold this with a finger. Proverbs 12:26. Watch this. I'm gonna show you why he said that. I mean, watch this. Proverbs 12:26. Because it ain't just like he trying to shun these people. This is why he's telling you not to have no fellowship with them. But watch this.
Proverbs chapter 12 verse 26. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduces them.
We spend a lot of our time congregating or fellowshipping with people that are opposing God. Usually that type of behavior is going to seduce us to do likewise.
Right.
That's why people say birds of a feather flock together. Or if you hanging around, they say you hanging around a bunch of crackheads, you probably 4 crackheads, you probably be the 5th. Things of that nature. It's because whatever they doing, you trying to live a righteous life, and you see them just living however they want, free of care. That's going to seduce you. Like, damn, I wish I could smoke weed like them. I wish I could go out on Saturday like they doing instead of keeping the Sabbath. And you're going to eventually slowly transition to being one of them.
Right.
So Paul's saying, instead of you having constant fellowship with these people that you know or you learning they're going against God, or they're committing sins, or they're ignorantly or consciously, you're not supposed to fellowship with them. But rather, when you do have time to be around them, you correct them. You try to show them the right path. Because what did Christ do when he was on the earth? He did exactly that. He did exactly that. He went to the sinners, or the sinners, or he called the sick, and he would show them the right path. He would correct them. He would teach them. But did he stay and live around them constantly? No, he was always on the move. He went to him, he taught him, he left. He went to another city. He went there, he taught him, he left. He went to another city. He didn't stay and constantly just live with these people because their behaviors were unfruitful. Go back to Ephesians. Read verse 12.
Ephesians chapter 5 verse 12. For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret.
Because we've all heard of different situations in churches where you got, or I say you got the, what they call it, the rumors or the tea, where the pastor, he's sleeping with this woman, this sister, he got a family on the other side of town, this sister in the choir, she's sleeping with this dude, the choir director, he got a man at home. There's always this tea going on that nobody wants. It's a shame to bring it up. Nobody will ever sit there and bring it up in the church because they know it's evil.
What is nation? Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Exploitation.